With the first pale stroke of dawn over the eastern hills, the world began to burn. Rhy Shen had been dragging himself across the sand for hours beneath the night sky, and now it was taking on the deep purple of dawn. Immunity to heat did not spare Rhy Shen from exhaustion, yet he ground his teeth and pressed on. Every step felt as though fire pulsed through his veins. His feet left no trace behind. The desert swallowed every shallow mark, as if he had never walked there at all.
Good for you that you don't feel any heat, kid. The infinite sands are much deadlier than the Black March forest. They say the sun burns with more violence here than anywhere else.
At least no one can follow me here.
Good, good. If you stop now, you might not reach the ever-dry beach in time. That would be a shame. The wave is returning tonight, and I doubt you could withstand its storms and tides as easily as you withstand fire.
M chuckled like a goat in Rhy Shen's ear.
I'm curious. What made you leave the guild? Thos's arrogant swagger? The smell in that sweat-soaked arena? Or did you actually spare a thought for the putrid mess they're leading you into?
The situation he got himself into seemed not any better. He went straight through the infinite sands, with dunes in every direction.
Maybe a part of me just wanted to scrub Lumen and Immo out of this.
His voice cracked against the dry wind.
Lumen looked miserable, being spat on by her own people. Just for breathing the same air as the fucking guild. She'd just get in trouble for helping me out here, spying on the Aeon fire.
The air thickened with tension as the sun crept higher, and even the desert seemed to listen.
Oh, how noble. So you do believe in the alternative story?
Rhy Shen kicked at the drifting sand ahead of him. This was too familiar.
I've seen a natural, divine Atham source before. They do exist. So, it would be stupid not to consider an Aeon fire. And it would explain why the Juru people are immortal, even with their low cultivation. The way I see it, the moment its existence is uncovered, there will be war. If someone from this Ochintis shithole is already sniffing around, the guild will strip this whole peninsula to find it.
The wind shifted, whispering over the dunes like distant voices.
Let's not pretend this is hero business. You've got 3 choices, kid.
Rhy Shen slowed, listening closely as he tried to keep a straight path through the desert.
First, you could leave the Aeon fire where it is. Let the Juru defend it by themselves. Hope the rest of the world never notices, and pray it doesn't end in an uprising. Like a dumb fish. You could leave all this bullshit behind. Even try to cross the infinite sands. Since you are so profoundly needless and lonely anyway. Go on. Leave another world to die.
M grunted before he unveiled the second option.
Second. Take it to those utterly stupid alchemists. They'll weave it into their sphere technology and launch Sun 2, getting us off this cursed peninsula. Maybe it will be for the greater good, but most likely it will not. Once power like that sits in someone's hands, it devours.
Both options felt unbearable.
I wish I had never learned about the Aeon Fire. Fuck this.
The desert glimmered in a greenish-blue light, strange and lifeless, and for a moment it reminded him of that other place. A faint, uneasy memory, yet heavy enough to make Rhy Shen walk with his head lowered for the rest of his life. When he studied the ground more closely, he noticed fragments scattered among the sand, small, pale pieces that could have been gravel or something more cruel.
There's a third option you probably don't know about. Your mind being by default quite narrow. Bring the Aeon Fire to me, kid. We hide it and bury the problem once and for all. The local world stays in balance, and the alchemists can use their atom farming techniques to launch their sun too, someday in the future. But here's the catch. You'll be lying to everyone you'll ever meet. Forever.
Rhy Shen walked on in silence. Every twitch of his eyelids betrayed the storm raging within him. Thoughts of what he had just heard vibrated with a dissonant hum in his chest. One word, one move, and he would either be the man who buried the Aeon Fire or the one who handed the guild the torch to burn the world down.
People keep telling me shit, making me responsible for knowing. Nothing here is fair.
He longed for even a moment of calm, a fleeting chance to steady himself.
Fuck!
But he could not afford such a luxury. Not now. Not when clarity might weaken the resolve he needed to act. The best he could do was hold back his flickering form from shuddering toward a violent outburst.
Not my fucking... I don't give a fuck.
After a long and patient while of cooling down, the sun still burnt over the desert, and Rhy Shen was still Rhy Shen.
Who in the world do you think you're manipulating here, Em? Huh? Where are you even? On the fucking moon? Why the hell should I trust you with this Aeon Fire? Are you out of your...
Psst. Don't you dare shouting around that you, or anyone, might know about the Aeon Fire. We are getting into huge trouble if someone finds out. Anybody who even believes in the tale is in great danger.
Baked by the sun and maddened by M's constant voice, Rhy Shen tore at his hair, leaving it a chaotic mess.
I am not allowed to speak the word? And how the hell am I supposed to find it then, Em, huh? It's not like we stumble upon it once we get to this twin capital, or is it?
I'm not your shepherd, kid. That is all your problem. As I said, psst. I hear trouble coming.
A sudden movement caught Rhy Shen's eye. Indeed, someone, or something, in the distance came closer, screaming for his life.
No! Help! I don't deserve to die. It was just 5 minutes more. Only 5 minutes.
M recognized the voice instantly and let out a long, weary sigh.
Oh, hell no. That is a bill.
Slowed by irritation, Rhy Shen blinked at the lizard-like figure approaching.
What is a fucking bill?
Congrats, kid. You are running into your first encounter with a member of the Bill family. They are despicable.
The man came closer, his long tail wobbling left and right in panic.
He looks like he could need help.
He doesn't. You do.
Again, the goat-like chuckle from M rattled through Rhy Shen's head. To Rhy Shen's surprise, the lizard-like man rocketed past him like a comet, leaving just a wormed line and round footsteps in the sand. Before he could make sense of that man, 12 others like him appeared over the dunes, all screaming, all wobbling their tails in fear.
The wave is coming! The wave is coming! The wave!
Oh, Rhy Shen. If your foggy skull would function right, you would run too. Like westward. Now!
Oh, damn. I see.
Rhy Shen bolted forward, his frantic steps barely grazing the sand as an abyssal shadow suddenly blotted out the desert sun. The ground heaved, the wind shrieked, and a tremendous wall-like ocean wave thundered over the dunes, swallowing everything in its path. One of the lizards lunged at Rhy Shen, aiming to sink its claws into him, but they passed harmlessly over his body, sliding off as if he were unassailable.
Don't let me, die!
In an instant, both Rhy Shen and the desperate lizard were swept off their feet. Sand, water, and shards of bone tumbled in a violent torrent, spinning them apart. Rhy Shen struggled to keep himself together, but the force was merciless. He saw the lizard man flailing somewhere nearby, then the undertow tore them both away, and the desert turned into a chaotic ocean torrent, dragging them wherever it pleased. Rhy Shen was dragged through sand and water, torn apart by the relentless wave. His body dissolved into pieces as it did before. As much as he embraced being on fire, he was defenseless against wind and waves.
No.
When he opened his eyes, he found himself at the forest line of a dense, moist woodland. Some of the trees here seemed unbound by the earth. Their roots were sprawling over the treetops of the ordinary leafed trees like grasping fingers.
Where are we? This isn't the Black March Forest.
This forest was unlike the ash-strewn, skeletal woods west of the Guild. It seemed alive, shifting constantly, as if the trees altogether were part of a single, breathing organism. Rhy Shen waited for guidance, but M remained silent.
Hey, old man. I've lost direction, and I'm tired. Where do we go now? M?
M's voice was gone. Shadows settled over the forest, thick and swallowing.
M!
The speech bug was gone, and M with it. Alone, Rhy Shen wandered along the edge of the trees, perking up his ears for the pulse of the forest. The gnarled branches overhead clawed at the remaining light, turning the undergrowth into a suffocating, pitch-black maze. This forest followed its own secret pattern.
Actually pretty nice. Not having a damn voice buzzing in my ear for once. I think I like this place.
He listened closely. The chirping of insects, the rustle of leaves, and then there was... A scream cut through the quiet, raw and frantic. Something, or someone, was screaming his lungs out, and the trees gasped in response. Rhy Shen trusted his instincts and moved toward the source of the noise.
What kind of animal is this?
He murmured under his breath, but there was no voice to answer.
Oh, damn. What?
The woods were so obscure and dense that he nearly stumbled into a tiny campfire nestled in a narrow clearing.
There you are.
Rhy Shen understood nothing but a stream of slithering hisses and sharp clicks.
You're the slippy human from earlier, aren't you? Nice to see you alive.
A lizard, bedraggled but unharmed, sat by the smoke, roasting a fish over the flames.
Not familiar with my slang, he? I see. Got something for you.
The lizard stood up to present something from his palm. It was Rhy Shen's speech bug, worn out but still working, just like this mysterious lizard man.
What are you waiting for, man? Take it!
After a moment of doubt, Rhy Shen took the bug and put it back into his ear.
Ouch!
En still stayed silent, but Rhy Shen could hear him chuckle in the distance of his mind. Oh, he was certainly enjoying the show. Wonderful. Showing his best manners, the lizard smoothed its apron and made a respectful bow.
Hello there, you understand me? I was hoping someone would come if I'd call. I was so afraid. I almost lost my tail out there.
With caution, the wide-eyed man grasped its scaled tail, as if to shield it from further harm.
That was your calling? Ugh. It sounded as if you had died.
The lizard-like man only shrugged his shoulders innocently.
Are you... Bill?
In this moment, M couldn't hold it back. So he was clearly listening.
I am one member of the Bill family, to be clear. My name is Gasped Bill. Please don't confuse me with Rarpet, Garpet, or Raspet Bill.
With a slight smirk on his face, Rhy Shen approached the fire.
However, thanks for saving my speech bug.
It was shouting insults. I mean, bad words. Speech bugs shouldn't do that.
The lizard scratched its bold head.
I'll handle that problem. Thanks anyway. Where were you heading before the wave struck?
Gaspé Bill clicked his tongue with restraint.
We were collecting shells from the ever-dry beach, but we must have gone too far east. Our group didn't make it back to the safe line before the wave came. We were a little too greedy. The further you go, the better the catch, they say. The others have probably drowned, or if not, they'll get eaten by forest wolves for sure. Too sad. They were also my cousins.
Rhy Shen held his breath for a moment, taken aback by Gaspé Bill's casual tone.
Sounds like you have a lot of... cousins?
We have a big family. Life is short, you know. Speaking of which, I suppose you are on your way to the twin capital, since you came from the south, and there is nothing in the east and nothing in the west from here.
Rhy Shen nodded slightly.
I could use some help to get there. They closed the city for mortals, but we bills are too clever to be held out by rules. I'll show you how we get in. You go after me.
Garpit Bill roamed through his pockets and took out a glowing, round pill.
What are you doing?
You mean, what are we doing? Here, this one's for you.
Rhy Shen stared at the pill in his hands, not sure what to do, but absolutely sure that this lizard was too insane to be trusted. Garpit held his rounded snout up in the air and took a long, relaxed breath through the nostrils. Then he swallowed the pill with a sly smile.
Watch closely.
Nothing happened.
That was the 9 Lives Ghost Fang Death Pill. Wake me up in 5 minutes.
He rolled up his eyes. Enough said. Then his tail began to twitch, writhe, and suddenly, it detached from his body. Garpit Bill's scales drained to chalk white, while his pupils vanished from his wide eyes.
Keep the tail.
Stiff as a puppet, he toppled backward and landed flat on his back, limbs splayed into the air like a marionette.
What the hell is happening now?
All good. 5 minutes.
This must be another fucking joke of this world. I can hear you laughing, Em. Hey, Em. Is the lizard dead? He said it would be 5 minutes, but he doesn't even breathe. Huh. Seems pretty dead to me.
You are so painfully clueless about every damn thing in this world. I enjoy this. Lean back. Listen to the choirs of the great Juru forest. And keep your eyes open, kid. This place is full of riddles, and some of them have already noticed you.
Exactly 5 minutes after his dramatic pill stunt, the mad lizard Garpit Bill finally woke up on his own. Still drowsy, he began licking his elbows and armpits and stretched his legs. Rhy Shen watched him, equally disgusted and awed.
What the hell was that, lizard?
Garpit shrugged his shoulders and shook the fog from his brain.
I told you, it was the 9 Lives Ghost Fang Death Pill. The good old family recipe. Haven't taken yours yet? How do you expect to get to the Twin Capital if you're such a coward? There is no slipping through the gates for cowards these days.
He studied Rhy Shen with one eyelid half closed, as if evaluating a painting.
You think I tricked you with your pill, huh?
He probably did.
Trust me, man. If there's one thing you can trust the Bills with, it's pills. The Bills pills have the best quality.
He clicked his tongue with that infuriating precision and rolled over his newly rounded back, where his tail was missing now.
If we're lucky, we make it to the Twin Capital without running into any monsters. From this side of the ever-dry beach, there's only one entrance to the Twin Capital during the wave. We gotta go to Western Mizar. Come on, help me up. I said help me up.
I can't. See?
Yeah, thanks for nothing here, I guess. Where do you even come from, man?
I came from the Black March Forest?
Keeping his connection to the guild a secret from this sneaky lizard seemed natural, even after only a week of living in this world.
I haven't seen very much in my short life, but I know a liar when I see one, man. No bad feelings. I bet you're one of those rift monsters. Thus, an arrival.
Yeah, something like that, I guess.
Seems that there are more of you every day. Good for business. So, this is your first time in Mizar? You'll see, the Juru here are made of sterner stuff than those hillbillies in the south.
They reached the city walls around midnight when the green moon stood high. Rhy Shen noticed how its light stirred the blossoms of every flower it touched, as if it were daylight. Even the giant trees growing from the city walls seemed to bow their crowns toward the moon, their branches veined by a living nexus of blooming twiners. As they neared the gates, Garpit slowed his pace and held Rhy Shen back with his stubby little arms.
Now it's really time for you to take your pill, wobbly human. Give it back if you don't want it.
Too late. One of the guards had already spotted them and was marching over with murderous purpose.
You! Stop right there! If you're not immortal, this is your last chance to piss off!
Garpit leaned in close to Rhy Shen, his eyes suddenly empty and distant.
I warned you, human.
The guard didn't bother with questions. He drew a heavy hammer, quickened his pace, and swung.
Die!
No!
Rhy Shen stepped forward and shielded the bill lizard on instinct. But the weapon passed straight through him, as if he was smoke. It crashed into the lizard's forehead. The lizard man made a short grunt. Then he collapsed. The guard was as shocked as Rhy Shen himself. He stared at the flickering ghost boy in disbelief.
What the heck? My hammer didn't even touch you! What in the hell are you?
Before Rhy Shen could even begin to grasp the question, the unbreakable Garpit moved. With a groan, he sat up, wrapped his fingers around the handle of the Juru hammer, and yanked it free. Whoa. No blood dribbled from the hole it had left in his skull. Then the scratch closed and left nothing but a flat scar. The miraculous Garpit got to his feet, once again, and dusted himself off.
Cheh, looting my tail was much harder than this. You have your proof, man. Now stop wasting our time, please.
He tapped onto his wrist as if he wore a watch. Very sophisticated.
We have more important things to do than dying, pal.
The Mizar guard was not pleased at all.
Oh, you Bill bastards may get through these gates with your cheap tricks, but don't think that you can fool me, lizard.
Garpit smiled and let his golden fake fang twinkle in the twilight of the torches nearby.
I don't care about your opinion. Rules are rules, right? We'll pass.
The guard's face twisted into a grim scowl.
Come back here. We're not done yet.
But his words didn't land anywhere.
Oh, we are. There. You tested it.
He gave a small nod toward the hammer that had just caved in his skull.
You swung with everything you had, remember?
He leaned forward, forcing the Juru guard to stoop down to catch his words.
And what did it change?
I can still.
Do your job? I told you. We'll pass.
A thin smile spread across Garpit's wide jaws.
This lizard has it right. And the guard? All he can do is scream up the chain. Isn't that just adorable?
The big-mouthed lizard left Rhy Shen genuinely impressed with its brazen audacity. He moved as if he knew every unwritten rule of the city and exactly how to bend them. As Rhy Shen followed the small figure through the gates, he felt the icy gaze of the stunned guard burning into their backs.
Aging really doesn't make those people wiser.
Garpit tugged on Rhy Shen's arm and leaned in close.
You still owe me that other pill.
Rhy Shen passed through the gates at the edge of the eastern city, awestruck. Taking in Mizar was worth a moment. The streets stacked in multiple tiers, forming a chaotic three-dimensional maze of routes, some glowing faintly with bioluminescence, others thick and gnarled like living stone. Buildings leaned into one another, braided arches and root bridges connecting levels in impossible patterns. The acrid stench of blood and roasting meat filled the air, and smoke rose from every corner. The whole city pulsed like a beast, daring anyone who entered to keep pace, or be swallowed by it.
So, arrival. What are your plans here in Mizar, eh?
The lizard watched him with one eye, while they slowly stepped through the crowd. Rhy Shen lowered his voice and buckled his back to get closer to Garpit's ear.
I am looking for something.
Everybody's looking for something in Mizar. It's a magnet for lost souls like you and me. The question is, do you know what your something is?
Slightly embarrassed, Rhy Shen rolled his eyes sideways.
That's none of your business, lizard.
Oh, I understand. In that case, we have the same destination. Let's head to the Lucky Bastard.
Lucky who?
Man, is this your first time here? Just follow.
Quick as a weasel, Garpit darted through the crowd, still unsteady from his lost tail. The people here were nothing like the Juru in the melting village. Most wore furs, bone jewelry, and carried sharpened weapons. Their clothing was practical, built for hunting and killing, not for comfort or ceremony. It dawned on Rhy Shen that Lumen must have visited this city many times, as her clothing differed from the fashion of the melting village in the same way.
Ah!
A sharp blade literally cut through Rhy Shen's head and erased his thoughts.
Someone is still trying to kill us!
Ha! Don't get distracted by the knife throwers. It's just a sport here. Just take the knife and throw it at someone else.
The lizard man led the way up a twisting route, casting a sidelong glance at a merchant hawking live frogs in baskets for whatever purpose. The route grew thinner and thinner until it finally forced the two of them to stop. Mizar's skyline writhed upward like a restless vine, yearning for the green moon's strange light.
This path leads nowhere, lizard. What are you doing?
Garpit looked at Rhy Shen, as if he was a child asking why water is wet. M let out a loud belly laugh at his end of their connection, unable to restrain himself any longer.
Oh, kid. You're making a fool of yourself in front of a bill. How pathetic. Imagine this if you can. Not every door is horizontal. Look up.
Rhy Shen lifted his head, and dropped to his knees to avoid falling backward into the rough street crowd beneath them. There it was, the entrance to the lucky bastard.
The lizard knows a lot for someone with a brain as small as a nut. If you are looking for answers or questions, the lucky bastard is the place to be.
The tavern was formed like a wasp nest, with a broad opening facing downwards, right above the single root Rhy Shen stood upon. The entrance loomed ahead, guarded by a gleaming spike lance that shot up from above without warning. A harsh voice rang out from within.
Who is daring entrance?
Garpet leaned casually on the edge of the opening, unfazed.
Hello there. Name is Garpet Bill.
Two tiny, red-glowing eyes lurked over the edge of the entrance. The voice echoed.
You're banned from the house! Piss off!
That must have been one of my cousins. He's long dead. I am not anything like him. Don't you remember me and my friend here?
He gave a quick nod to Rhy Shen. After an inconveniently long pause, M muttered in his ear,
Say your name, kid.
Rhy Shen.
He could only stammer the words.
All right, Lizard. You know the game. You need to give me a really good secret to get in. Tell me something I didn't know before.
Pah! One shabby secret? No problem for us.
Garpet gave way for Rhy Shen to answer. Still on his knees, Rhy Shen gave it a shot, according to the rules of this world he had learned up to this point.
Well, have you heard of, the divine beast Qilin? It really exists. I have seen it.
The doorman's face appeared for the briefest moment. His eyes were flat, assessing, as though he had already filed Rhy Shen away.
Heard that one before. Next.
Garpet made a slurpy sound with his tongue, grinning slyly at Rhy Shen. He leaned close and whispered,
The thing is, this doorman knows everything. Your best chance to get in is to tell a convenient lie.
He slithered boldly with his tongue and raised his voice.
Hey, Red Eye, look at my friend closely. Does he look normal to you? Huh? Lively? Huh? No, I swear to you, he is a real ghost.
The red eyes narrowed, piercing straight into Rhy Shen. A strange chill ran up his neck, and for a fleeting heartbeat, he almost wondered if he truly was a ghost. Perhaps it wasn't even a joke anymore.
I don't believe you.
The spike lance twitched and recoiled slightly, but its tip passed through Rhy Shen's body like a wisp of smoke, causing no harm, yet leaving a lingering, icy sensation. Garpet drew a small knife from his sleeve and attempted to slash Rhy Shen a few times to make a point.
Haha, see for yourself. A real ghost.
Okay, asshole. He saw it.
A tense silence followed. The red eyes blinked once, twice, and the voice muttered, almost begrudgingly,
Clever enough. Climb in then.
The hatch slammed shut. Heavy bolts groaned, before the door finally swung open. A rope ladder unfurled from the gap with a dry hiss, swaying like a noose. Garpet caught it, winking at Rhy Shen.
See? Told ya. Sometimes the truth isn't nearly as useful as a little charm. Come on in. I think you will really like this place.
The lucky bastard was a murky hole, where ribbons of smoke in strange colors curled through the air, laced with the bitter sting of gunpowder. Only a handful of the guests were human, scattered in small clusters at their tables. The most striking among them were two Juru mercenaries in the corner, passing knives between their fingers out of pure boredom. Then came a separate room, yet deeper in shadow, with a long, empty counter behind muddy green curtains. And there was the bartender. His left eye bulging as if under constant pressure, shot through with angry red veins. Garpit looked around, wiping the murk from his huge eyeballs with his tongue. Then he waved enthusiastically and scuttled over to a table crowded with other lizardmen.
Fine, some familiar faces. They are also my cousins.
His delight made M snort with amusement.
These bills are disgusting. They're all intertwined and wicked. Probably because their lives are so short. Every speaking lizard in teal belongs to this forsaken bill family.
Rhy Shen watched, half smiling, half confused, as the bills passionately started trading bizarre items. One of them seriously offered a fruit that never ripes.
Take it or leave it. 5 vermilion shells.
Another lizard leaned forward to offer something even more interesting and useless.
Hear me out. 10 vermilion shells, and I'll give you this secret pill. Wow. Whoa.
The cousin presented a glowing blue pill on his palm and dissolved it in a glass of water.
What is it for? I'll tell you for 2 shells.
Listen, guys, I have a fresh tale to sell.
Arguments escalated, only to dissolve into laughter and sudden new deals that left Rhy Shen dizzy just watching. One of the lizards sparked a metallic pipe, choking the air with a rancid smoke. Intrigued, he tried to lift the small, murky glass Garpit pushed toward him, but it felt anchored to the table. Shrugging off his dignity, he dipped his tongue into the liquid like the lizards around him.
Phew. Wow. Damn.
Ugh, the liquid hit hard. It was sweet, bitter, and hot all at once. His head spun, the room tilting around him.
Something is wrong with your friend, Garpit. He looks sick.
No shit, Roarbat.
Garpit proudly tapped on Rhy Shen's head and blurred his face for show. The other lizards jerked back from the table, utterly stunned.
He didn't even need a 9 lives Ghost Fang death pill to get in.
No shit.
Garpit threw back his head and laughed. His slithering tongue flicked from his jaws.
I tell you, it is true. I found him in the desert. 200 shells, and he is yours. Who's interested, huh? Huh?
Rhy Shen scowled.
Would this jabbering lizard ever shut up about me?
He felt the urge to fight the lizard who tried to sell him so bluntly, before the fog in his brain stole his thoughts. The world suddenly felt lighter, smoother, and less dangerous than it should. The lizards leaned closer, eyes glinting with mischief.
What does an arrival want here in Mazar? I bet it's hookers.
Another bill clawed his fingers in the table and whispered,
Pills, maybe? Pills! It must be pills!
and a third sneered.
It must be hookers. I know someone, if you have a very urgent desire, boy.
Rhy Shen's head spun. Every drop of the gold-hued drink burned his throat and fogged his mind.
We're gonna be great friends, man.
He clenched his fists as the lizardous prying curiosity needled at him without pause.
You can tell us anything, man.
Anything.
His muttering voice was low and trembling.
I'm looking for something else.
The lizards pressed in, heads almost touching, their gazes locking on him.
Speak up, Ghost. We've got all day.
A hiss from M cut into Rhy Shen's ear once again, sharp and dead serious.
Don't you dare.
But the bills were so unnervingly understanding.
Come on, man. Just say what's burning inside you, huh?
For a dizzy, reckless moment, Rhy Shen's mind convinced him that telling the truth was the right move, the only way forward. Against every instinct, against M's hissed warning in his ear, he finally let it slip, as quiet as he could.
I am looking for the Aeon fire.
The bar froze. Dim, smoky clouds thickened in the air, curling like fingers around Rhy Shen's chest. The lizard's slit-pupilled eyes suddenly bored into him, as if he were a pest skittering across their table. Three of the lizards sticked their heads together, whispering,
Did he say?
He did.
No shit. We're done. We're all done.
Garbett attempted to ease the tension. He straightened his back and cleared his throat so everyone could hear.
Good joke, boy.
Good joke.
Then, a bit louder,
The Aeon fire is just a telltale for kids, as you know. Everybody here knows, right, guys?
Sure. Sure.
You better get us some drinks, Ghost.
another bill redundantly added,
And then you leave.
The moment the word Aeon fire left his lips, Rhy Shen knew he had made a grave mistake. His drunken defiance had thrown him onto a knife's edge. Every being in the lucky bastard seemed to recoil, loathing him for being here. Shaking, he slipped through the barroom curtains to order new drinks for the lizard table. A faint pressure lingered in the air when he stepped into the shadow-filled room. The bartender's bulging eye followed him with unnerving precision, tracking every movement as he filled the glasses. No one spoke a word.
All better go.
When he stepped back into the main room, the lucky bastard had changed entirely, swallowed by death itself. Everyone in the tavern had vanished. Every drinker, every murmur, every flicker of shadow, gone. The noise, the warmth, the chaotic pulse of life, erased. The smoke of the pipes still hung thick and black. No trace remained of the lizards, the red-eyed doorman, or anyone else who had filled the room just moments ago. Rhy Shen returned to the bar, only to discover that the bartender had vanished too.
What is going on?
Even M stayed silent, invisible in the emptiness. From the depths of that suffocating void, a moth-like movement stirred, subtle, deliberate, and by all means, predatory. Nothing could have prepared Rhy Shen for this horror. The Tale of Rhy Shen, Chapter 7, Aeonbound.
You.
From the shadows, she emerged. Her limbs curved with impossible grace. Each movement was a fluid, almost ritualistic dance. Fine chains draped from her wrists, tracing delicate patterns across her chest, glinting faintly in the dim light of the empty tavern. The air around her rippled as she stepped forward.
You.
Rhy Shen held his breath, not moving an inch. The primal knowledge that a single mistake could mean death struck him.
It's the Aeonbound Mistress. Don't move, kid. Just don't move.
M whispered from the speech bug, as quiet as he could.
You fool shouldn't have mentioned the... you-know-what. You are done, kid. It was nice knowing you.
Time itself slowed to watch the mistress pass. Her features were exquisitely divine, but her gaze was strict and reproachful, as though she scolded him for a fault he hadn't dared to commit. Rhy Shen's pulse raced under her silent command. Ugh. She pulled Rhy Shen in, drawing him closer even as every instinct screamed to flee. Rhy Shen had braced for a beast, a mercenary, a deadly assassin. But this woman, she was something else entirely. There was no violence, yet, but the danger was undeniable. Every breath of hers pulled him closer to the edge, teasing his focus and testing his restraint.
You talk too much, human.
In that impossible, electric instant, the urge to touch her almost outran the fear of dying. A dark pull from deep inside made Rhy Shen want to test himself against her, even as every ounce of reason warned him not to. She curved her lips into a smile that promised pain and pleasure in the same breath. Without warning, she slashed him. Rhy Shen dodged the strike by inches, but then she raised a second weapon and slashed him from the other side.
Please
He used his hammer to shield himself. In her hands were two pitch-black weapons, shaped like crescent moons with two thorny edges each. They moved like claws in a predator's grip and struck Rhy Shen's light sledgehammer with a fatal clang that shook his bones.
You shall talk no more.
The blow hit with unimaginable force. Shockwaves raced up his arms, burning with every nerve. In an instant, his body shattered, dissolving into the thick, swirling smoke of the tavern. He flowed through the room like dust. Flesh and shadow streaming over tables and chairs. Particle by particle, The air stitched Rhy Shen back together. The thorn-crowned devil lady watched him, her gaze sharp, playful, and unsettlingly curious.
Where is everyone? Why are you attacking me?
Rhy Shen asked as soon as he could move his lips. His voice was tight, still paralyzed from fear and awe. Her answer came without words. She tossed her claws aside and lifted a hand in nonchalance. Instantly, a swirl of fire erupted around her, rolling over him like the wave had only hours before, hard and relentless. Every inch of the tavern set fire and scorched into pitch-black coal.
Ha 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 ha! You can't touch me with fire, witch!
He withstood the flames, unmoving as they licked and curled around him.
Ha 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 ha!
The mistress remained unimpressed. Her lips quirked into a slow, knowing smile, a spark of temptation dancing in her eyes.
You don't burn? Magnificent. Let's see where you break.
Deliberate and teasing, she lifted a tiny, sapphire-blue bottle between the tips of her fingers. With a casual flick, she sent it spinning into the shadows. It hit the ceiling with a sharp crack. Lightning lashed out, a gale erupted, and the room was swallowed by the storm trapped inside the tiny vessel. The storm's sheer brutality ripped a jagged maw through the wall, and Rhy Shen's fragile body was swept into the night like scattered ash. The wind-slashed chaos of the tavern spilled into the open square, and Rhy Shen with it. Splinters and shards rained through the air, and at the center of it all, the black-haired devil woman lingered, her dark amusement gleaming as she reveled in the chaos she had wrought. Outside, the street panicked. No one had ever seen such power unleashed in the heart of the city. And above it all, she waited, already anticipating Rhy Shen's return, a dark smile playing on her lips as she surveyed the chaos she had wrought. Before his shape fully took form, she took the word, her voice low and teasing.
Delicate.
She murmured, quietly pleased.
You're slippery.
Rhy Shen's eyes frantically darted around.
Where is everyone? What have you done to the lizards?
Her smile deepened, openly cruel.
You're about to find out.
With a movement almost too fast to see, she produced another small, ornate bottle. This one was pitch black. At first, it was only his fingers that began to dissolve, fading into smoke on the wind. Then, impossibly fast, his entire arm unraveled. Each particle of ethereal flesh spun wildly around the bottle before finally sinking into its opening for good.
Run, kid, run! She's about to bottle you up.
M's warning crackled urgently through the speech bug. For the first time in nearly 1,000 years, Rhy Shen felt the true, icy grip of death. In a blind panic, he wrenched himself free from the lethal pull and flung his body through the jagged hole in the burning wall. Every nerve screamed as the invisible force of her power tugged behind him. Irresistible, soul-crushing, omnipresent. He clung desperately to what remained of himself, his left arm and shoulder gone forever.
Not today, witch!
For a heartbeat, it seemed as if he had stepped outside of time, glitching forward as if frames of reality had been skipped. Before the vessel's violent pull could drag him back into the tavern's inferno, he reached the plaza, where a terrified crowd had gathered to watch the chaos.
Get out of the way! I'm fucking serious! Scram!
The mistress did not even follow. She remained perfectly still in the shadows, her dark amusement flickering in her eyes as she watched him flee. He had escaped, for now. But the tiny bottle loomed in her hands like a silent, deadly promise. And the knowledge that she could claim him at any moment gnawed at him like a living beast. Rhy Shen ran through the twisting streets of Mizar, mortally terrified. The assassin Mistress had cost him his hammer and his left arm. It seemed clear to him.
I doubt that she'll stop until she gets my head, too.
He ducked through the crowd, trying to melt into the shadows of the city. But everywhere he went, eyes found him. People stared with still faces, puzzled at the one-armed, ghostly bandit roaming the streets and muttering curse words under his breath. He didn't belong here, and everyone let him know. Like a drop of oil trying to hide in clear water. Through every alley of the naturally grown streets, the gazes followed him. The entire world had become a trap. He tried to scream at them, but the sound died in his throat, swallowed by the suffocating grip of their attention. He slid behind a shuttered doorway, trembling, trying to make himself small, trying to vanish.
God, that witch can keep my arm.
Even after hours of roaming the streets in fear, he dared not stop walking. The tall buildings of the inner city circle receded into the distance, and Rhy Shen glanced at the fire and the ongoing firefighting from afar. He moved along a canal that reflected the pale green moonlight. With each street he passed, the chaos seemed to fade.
Maybe I am overreacting.
Trust me. If this truly was the Aeonbound Mistress, you are not overreacting at all. Her presence means two things. One, the Aeon Fire must truly exist, since she is its protector. And the second thing, kid.
What?
You have no chance of surviving. You better throw away the speech bug now, or we are both dead as cats.
Panic surged through Rhy Shen. Every shadow under the trees lining the canal made him flinch.
She looked like she had studied me. I bet she can control thoughts. What if she sees through the eyes of other people or something, like a living Ishi mirror? What if she can see me right now? Wah!
He ducked under a low canal bridge, pressing himself against the cold stone, trying to think, trying to hide. A whisper of movement behind him made him startle. It was almost too subtle to notice. He spun around.
You.
The mistress was already there. She licked her teeth with amusement.
You are delicate.
The air thickened around her, and Rhy Shen felt the pull of the bottle again. Its irresistible force tugging at the edges of his soul. Her silky voice both fascinated and terrified him, cutting through him like a blade.
Human. You talk too much. It is my profession to erase scum like you from this world. You really thought you could hide?
Actually, he didn't think that for a second, which made his attempt to flee even more ridiculous in his eyes now. Rhy Shen realized, with a sinking certainty, that this woman was far stronger than anyone he had ever The moment she opened the tiny, ornate bottle, her irresistible presence set back in, a force that tugged at him with terrifying inevitability.
Wait.
Driven by curiosity, she stopped.
So, you are a bit furious? Because I, asked about the Aeon fire?
The silent hatred in her eyes was bottomless.
It was, only a little joke. No one believes in it, actually.
She tipped a finger at the tiny bottle.
Never mind. No one is left to tell about this incident. No one but you.
There was no need for aggression in her presence. Her voice alone could crush his entire soul. The bottle gleamed in her hand, the swirling essence inside reflecting 1,000 broken images, the ghost of his missing arm, and the faint outlines of those who had vanished in the tavern. There was nowhere left to run, and yet the mistress tolerated Rhy Shen's presence longer than she needed to.
So, fire doesn't touch you.
She let her eyes wander across the water surface, but a subtle trace of acknowledgement in her face was impossible to miss. The way she said it almost made Rhy Shen believe he had a real reason to exist. Quickly, she went back to humiliation.
Only a joke, you say?
Rhy Shen nodded frantically.
So, you must be very funny. A comedian.
Another uncertain nod from Rhy Shen, whose eyes desperately tried to shy away. One false step, and the Aeonbound mistress could trap him for eternity.
You get one chance, fragile human.
The mistress closed the space between them until their faces almost touched. Crescent moon claws slid to his throat, pressing just enough to draw a thin, bloodless line.
One chance. If you fail, be aware. I'll take your head from your shoulders and seal what's left of you in my bottle.
Her expression remained perfectly cold and still, as her pupils shrunk to needlepoints that bored into him like twin spikes. He wasn't ready to die under this mossy bridge, only 6 days after entering this life, so he awaited her command. She leaned back, eyes gliding from his head to his chest, a smile dripping with malice.
Tell me a funny joke, comedian. Something truly hilarious. Make me laugh from the bottom of my heart. Go on. Unless you wish to die right here.
Her bone-dry face gave nothing away, as if mocking the very idea of emotion. Not a twitch, not a hint of mercy. Still, it radiated an almost hungry seriousness, as if she were measuring the very essence of him.
I said no.
Their reflections shimmered on the water's surface as the Aeonbound mistress pressed her deadly claws against Rhy Shen's throat, ready to behead him and snuff out his life.
Speak. I dare you.
She stood at the edge of the canal like a shadow carved into the world. Her body wrapped in black leather and chains, every line sculpted with purpose, unapologetically lethal. The darkness clung to her, slick as sweat on bare skin. Between them, the space crackled with an invisible current of tension that sent his pulse racing.
I will not wait another second. Speak. Make me laugh.
The mistress's lethal closeness clashed with the serene, welcoming city across the canal. Beyond, the white towers of Alcor rose in stark contrast to the deadly scene unfolding here at the edge of Mizar. Her eyes betrayed her. There was a flicker of hope that he might give her a reason not to kill him. Rhy Shen leaned back slightly, letting the tension hang thick between them.
Okay, you want a joke, witch? You'll get one. Worried about me talking about the Aeon fire? Funny thing is, everybody knows. The alchemists, the Juru in the melting village, an asshole named M, and another asshole named Armath Orson.
Her scarlet-red eyes flickered.
Your little secret isn't so secret after all. Ha! Good joke, right?
A long silence. Even M remained quiet, terrified that even a whisper might betray him. Rhy Shen closed his eyes, every muscle coiled, bracing for the endless pain he was certain would come. Finally, she lowered her weapons. The mistress laughed, truly laughed, a sound that rolled over the pitched roofs of Mizar. Though, even in her amusement, her voice carried the weight of absolute control. This time, she left him in one piece. Her eyes wandered along the canal as she began to move along the deserted waterside, subtly compelling Rhy Shen to follow with the sway of her body.
It's the mistress! The mistress!
Seeing a few fishers fleeing in the distance, Rhy Shen realized with a jolt, she was the reason no one dared linger here at all.
You clever little speck of dust. You had me for a moment, with your reckless yet honorable courage. And yet, I see right through you.
Amusement snapped back into contempt in an instant.
I'd wager your left arm. The alchemists sent you here, didn't they? You're one of their little experiments, I suppose.
There was no denying. Rhy Shen lifted the only hand he had left in defense and clung to the truth, even as each word scorched his tongue.
Well, to be honest, I am. They did, but I denied their stupid request.
And thus you are here.
This woman. She made Rhy Shen feel the same profound wrongness that had cast him out of his last, royally screwed-up life.
Well, screw you then, witch. I just wanted to help.
He saw it, the sincere confidence in her eyes that someone like him did not deserve to exist anywhere at all. With the tip of her finger, the mistress traced the cold edge of her moonblade, as if weighing the mercy of erasing him again.
To hell with it. These alchemists will send somebody else. Or a whole army, who the hell knows? That was never my fucking problem anyway. This place is a damn madhouse. Pah!
He spat on the cobblestones for emphasis.
Give me back my left arm and my weapon, and I'll leave.
The mistress's eyes flared with a burning light that seemed to set the air ablaze.
You won't go anywhere, fragile human. You're under arrest.
Unimpressed, he pivoted on his heel and walked off, daring her to stop him.
Under arrest? Since when do assassins arrest people? Where's your prison? Where's your cage?
I'm not stupid. If you put me into that fucking bottle, there's no one to help you when the alchemists come.
Her twin blades swept up again. This time, it was no longer a warning. In a single brutal motion, the Mistress slashed a diagonal arc through his ribs from behind. Her second blade followed, finishing the slaughter. Rhy Shen's ghostly form split violently, one half hovering above the other, foggy edges writhing like smoke. Still reeling from her brutality, Rhy Shen tried to reform himself, but it was useless. The Mistress only had to lift a single finger, and the absolute control radiating from it froze him in place. An invisible barrier denying him wholeness. Defeated and furious, Rhy Shen hissed with a sharp, angry sound and simply hung there, suspended by her power.
You think they'll send someone? Let them come.
As the sole protector of the greatest Juru secret, she knew better. Any being in the universe that came too close to the Aeon fire would be consumed, even herself.
They would erase themselves just by looking at the Aeon fire. In truth, there's only one problem here. You.
She raised her hand, fingertips pressed tightly together, aimed at the bisected Rhy Shen. Then she snapped them apart in a sudden motion to set him on fire. The beacon traced through his fractured body, soothing the phantom pain of his missing parts with a strangely intimate warmth. Deep within, Rhy Shen felt the heat sink into his shattered core and become part of him. The Mistress watched in silence, eyes sharp and distant, lost for a heartbeat in her own thoughts. Then she lowered her hand, and the waterside fell dark again. While Rhy Shen painstakingly reassembled what was left of his body, the Mistress spoke.
You will not leave Mizar until I say so. Do not search for me. Do not search for the Aeon fire. Ever again. Or you will regret it.
At last, she fished Rhy Shen's Juru hammer from the pitch-black abyss bottle like a feather on a string, and tossed it to the ground in its full size.
Here. You can take your little stick back. It's broken. The forge will improve it. If you pay them well. You'll need it to defend yourself in Mizar. Fragile creatures like you tend to have a hard time here.
The Mistress did not bother to say goodbye. She simply walked past the stunned Rhy Shen as he bent to pick up his hammer.
Stupid bitch. Took my arm.
Huh? Holy shit!
When he straightened and turned, her face was suddenly right in front of his again. Her eyes promising death.
If you ever see me again, you're in trouble. Don't look for me.
She lifted her moonblade claws and jumped at his face.
Huh? Holy shit!
Rhy Shen shielded his eyes. In the blink of an eye, she was gone. Vanished into the mist, leaving only the ruins of fire and wind behind.
Wait, what's with my arm? Give me back my limbs, witch!
He clenched his right fist in anger, but she was already gone. Over the canal, the mist lingered, teasing, mocking. For a moment, the world felt emptier than ever to Rhy Shen. M's voice crackled through the speech bug.
You're lucky you survived this, dumbass. One drop of booze and you already made yourself a serious mortal enemy. You really shouldn't have asked about that Aeon fire, you self-righteous hothead, Someone had warned you about that, remember? It was me.
Rhy Shen ran with his remaining hand through his hair, still catching his breath.
Who is she?
Meh. She's a true nightmare. Only the stars know what she's done to the tavern guests she trapped in her abyss bottle, thanks to your big mouth.
Rhy Shen pressed his lips together, his gaze drifting to the faint spirals of smoke that was still rising from the ruined tavern, curling into the night air as a reminder of his latest faults.
So, what do we do now? I thought it was your plan too, to find out where the Aeon fire is.
Well, simpleton, I know it's not in Miza. If I had a crumbling weapon like that, I would head to the Northern Forge next, like she said. And once your lust and booze-distracted brain is functioning again, I'll tell you what someone with a spark of dignity would have done in your place.
Rhy Shen let out a bitter laugh. The city itself seemed to warn him, jagged rooftops slicing the moonlight, smoke curling like claws through the alleys, the muffled chaos of the nightlife echoing off stone and timber. He could feel it, cold and sharp. The Mistress was watching. Every breath he drew, every shadow he hid in, she knew. M didn't need to say a word. Rhy Shen already understood the truth in his bones. One misstep, one wrong word, and there would be no second chance.